Well, good morning, fellow reversionists. How are you all today? And welcome to American Reversion. Did you all know that today is Donald Trump's birthday? That's right. That's right. It's the first thing that I want to say. A happy birthday. A very happy birthday to President Trump. Man, did he come out swinging yesterday. I want to talk about that. For anybody who's dropped by, you say, what is this? What in the world is a reversionist? Well, a reversionist is a person who wants to take America back to the way that it used to be and was supposed to be. And that's what it is. We are sick and tired of what's happened to this country. It's been going downhill for too many years. The communists have done a heck of a good job getting their way, and we have been laying back and not doing enough to resist it and fight it. But that's over. That's over. We're going to come back, and I'll tell you what. Trump knocked it out of the park yesterday. Did you see his speech when he got back to what's his place in New Jersey? It doesn't matter. Whatever the name is, there he was, and he gave his speech. About 30 minutes long. It was probably the best speech I have ever heard him give. You know, and I don't watch all of his speeches. Probably most of you don't either. I mean, you know, they're long, and pretty much he says the same thing. And I understand it's you know, people like that stuff, and especially when you're there in person, it's easy to get riled up. But he does a good job, and he shows his stamina, and he shows his determination, and he shows you know, that. Well, I tell you, he shows he's got it. But last night, in 30 minutes. He said more, and I mean, he came out and he came at them. And so my question is this: is this the revolution? Now, I won't ask if this is the start of the revolution, because, you know, everybody can have a different opinion of when a revolution started. You know, does it start when the first person is a little irritated at what's going on and then it builds? So we won't get into that. But is this the revolution? And it very well may be. Before we get to that, I do want to say, let everybody know, I've just put a number of things up over on the Patreon channel. For those of you who are our patrons of ours, thank you so much, by the way. That channel is growing, and I really appreciate that. I do. When you support the channel by becoming a patron on the Patreon channel, you help me do the things that I need to do to further our cause, and I do that to the best of my ability, and with your all's help, as you spread this around, as you share the videos with other people, as you go out there and do your part talking to other people and trying to win that war of hearts and minds. That's the way that's the way that we're going to win this thing. I won't say that's the way we're going to win this thing if we win this thing, because we have to think either we win or it's over. I also put up, did you hear Tucker? Tucker on Twitter, his new thing. Anyway, did I say, and excuse me if I'm backing up on myself, I put Trump's speech on the Patreon channel. Also, I think I forgot to invite anybody who is not with us on the Patreon channel. It's only $1 a month, and I put loads of stuff over there. Matter of fact, that channel is becoming so large, I'm putting more and more stuff over there. So you're going to get a lot of stuff, and it's $1 a month, and I appreciate the ones who are contributing more so much. But join us there. It's a heck of a community. It's getting to be a heck of a community over there. It's a way that I'm going to make sure that you don't miss out on the things that you need to know. And I kind of act as a news aggregator, as it were, like the Drudge and Liberty Daily and all those kinds of things. I find those things that I think, okay, these are particularly important to see, to keep in mind, to know about, for our viewers to know about, and I'll put them up there so that you can see them. The next thing that I put up was Tucker. Tucker's third installment from Twitter, and I tell you, he nails it too. He gets into stuff that you're going to want to hear. A third one that I just put up, RFK Jr., Biden's great nemesis over on the Democrat side. RFK, still a Democrat? Well, you know, he's a Kennedy. They're always going to be Democrats. But regardless of that, he's a smart guy, very smart guy, as all the Kennedys were smart. I mean, they really are. I hope that the Kennedy curse doesn't follow him on this, because he has done some really good things as far as, and I can't even say it on Patreon because it goes through the YouTube, censors too. But he has done a lot on, shall we say, healthcare. Okay, we'll just leave it there. But he, and while I disagree with him on a number of things, he has come out. He said that the water supply is turning kids into trannies, and just like Alex Jones predicted with those frogs. He talks about that, and he's an environmental lawyer. Kennedy is, and he's an environmental. I enjoy listening to him. Now he and I'm sure we disagree, as would you and he disagree on some very basic things. Doesn't matter. He's a smart guy, and I would enjoy talking to him about a number of things, and I enjoy listening to him. So he talks about this, and he goes down into the weeds about what's in our water supply and what's in our environment that is screwing us up. That's something that I think is important for everybody to know, to keep track of, and to care about. And finally, the last one that I just put up, we have an FBI whistleblower. What was his name? D'Antuono? Was it Anthony D'Antuono? I'm not sure. Anyway, he was a special agent in charge, assistant special. Oh yeah, here we go. Stephen D'Antuono. He was former head of the FBI's Washington field office, and he has led mass arrests of Trump supporters after January 6th, and he was the one who ran that Whitmer entrapment operation up there. But he has flipped. And he is now talking to Congress about the raid on Mar-a-Lago and such. And so I've included that article over on, and this has, I tell you, Chuck Grassley, once he gets a hold of this, once Grassley gets his teeth into something, he's a good one. The guy's about 98 years old. I mean, I hope he lasts long enough to get it done. But he's not a big disappointment like some of the others have been. Trey Gowdy was that one, and who was the other one? Jason Chaffetz, the ones that we say, oh, he's really going after him, and then they say, oh, I think I'll quit and go work for Fox News. So anyway, those are up there, and also I just saw before I came on here, I just saw that in a previous video, and this was one that I put up yesterday, where Beaupert came on and gave him hell. And I tell you what, she and MTG. Some people have their problems with them. Well, whatever, they are some firebrands. They are doing some things. There's so many women out there driving this stuff. Beaupert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's the one that just flew out of my mind. It doesn't matter. We have so many of the women coming out and really driving this. And you know what? Women are so important in this battle because it's harder to hit the girl, right? I mean, people who take shots at women are they're looked down on. And so when a woman gets out there and puts it to them, they don't draw the same fire as, now they draw fire, but they don't draw the same fire as a guy. And so often you get an articulate woman out there really driving the message, and it carries a lot of weight. To be honest, a lot of the men are, laid back, and they do kind of things they methodically, Rand Paul, all these kinds of things. They're not dynamic. They're not exciting. The women get out there and they put it out there, That's great. Anyway, in that one that I put up yesterday, I think, I just saw that Hondo Bob, one of our highly esteemed Tier 1 commenters, both on integrated preparedness and here on American Reversion, we have, I won't say I have, I don't own anything, we have so many super sharp people on both of our Patreon channels. Again, I'm going to tell you guys, if you're not, you need to be over there. You need to be over here, okay? Let's see. Okay, he put up one, Hondo Bob put up a link in yesterday's. That's one thing you can do on Patreon you cannot do on the we got somebody wandering around out there in the cul-de-sac. They're lost. Okay, anyway. My office looks over the front of the cul-de-sac. I like to keep an eye on things. So you can't do it on YouTube, but you can put links up over on Patreon. He put up one. It says, Trump Attorney General William Barr reveals he had intimate knowledge of Biden's Ukraine investigation in the summer of 2020, but failed to tell the American people. Joe Biden was credibly accused of taking $5 million foreign bribe as vice president. And he's left a link, and I will put that link up on the Patreon site as well. So, okay, so that's covering a lot of stuff that's going on. And man, there is a lot going on. Today is going to be probably just as interesting as yesterday, if that's possible. But getting back to my question, is this the revolution? Now, here we talk about is about a reversion, and we've also talked about what's going to happen. Is there going to be a revolution? Is there going to be a civil war? There never has been one here. I'm always going to say that because it will pique people's interest. And they'll say, what do you mean there's never been a civil war? We had a civil war. I learned about it in high school from Mr. Dickens, the coach who taught history, right? And I said, well, no, if you knew exactly what a civil war, if you had been taught. See, I'm not attacking your intelligence. I'm attacking the education system through which you were managed. If you had been taught what a civil war was, you'd know that was not a civil war. Okay, did I pique your interest? We'll talk about that another time. But are we going to have a revolution? We're going to have a civil war. We want a reversion. Are we able to get a reversion, a taking America back the way it is supposed to be without a revolution? Probably not. We've talked about the fragmentation, the balkanization of the United States. Probably necessary, although not along state lines. But, the difference is not really between the states here. It's between the urban dwellers and the non-urban dwellers, right? It's entirely different. Thought processes, lifestyles, all of that. And we've allowed the urban dwellers, a great majority of whom get all of their money from our tax dollars, whether in the way of their government salaries or in their welfare checks, and so they're running our country while charging us for it. Anyway, let's get back to this. Is a revolution. I've said before, a revolution, it needs a strong leader. There has not been a strong leader. It needs something that pulls. Well, we have had a strong leader, but in Trump, but he has not been angry enough. He's tried to work within the system. That's why he had the problem. He got a lot done. I mean, with everybody in the world working against him. Not just the Democrats, but everybody. He really brought out the understanding of the deep state, of the swamp. He had most of his own party working against him. Slime balls like, what was that guy's name? Used to be Speaker. It just flew out of my head, probably because I can't stand him. I don't want his name in my mind. You know who I mean. Whatever. I'm going to move on from there. But we wasn't angry enough, and he is angry now. If you watch his speech from last night, man, he came out and said exactly what he's going to do. And I believe him. I believe him. If he lives, he's going to try to do it all, and I bet he'll get a lot done, but he needs our support. But we haven't had a strong enough leader who's angry enough, who is committed enough, who has an understanding of the real threats, the real challenges, and I think he does now, after this persecution. And we need something around which a majority of the people can coalesce. Okay, and I've said you're never going to get enough Americans angry enough about the same thing at the same time to bring about any real change. Because, we live good lives. We can be upset as can be about a number of things, but most of us live great lives. We're not suffering. And this might be it. This persecution of Trump might have, there have been so many people who there have been even a couple of well-known commentators that said, this persecution of Trump has made me 100% pro-Trump from here on out. And that's exactly right. This is also going to, if we do our job, okay, we have a job to do, and that is to share this information with as many people as we can. Whether that's to share it with your group of friends and associates, whether that's to share at work, at church, at whatever, family. Don't risk your family over a political argument. But that is our way. Whether it's to make comments, that's another, I've said that. Whether it's to make comments on videos like this, whether it's to share videos like this, please do. Just give it a thumbs up. Make sure that you're subscribed on my channel, but also on other people's channels. If you watch other channels that cover this stuff, support them. If they have a Patreon page, support them. Throw $1 their way. You want to contribute to the cause. If there's 10 channels that you watch and they have Patreon channels and you say support them, pledge $1 to each one of them. It's only $1. It's only $10. Would you get much? What if you give your local representative $10? What's that going to get you? Nothing. But if you'll throw a little support, or if you only watch 2, throw them each 5. If it's not me, somehow, support these channels. That's the way you can do it. If you want to start your own channel, start your own channel. Let me know. If you have something to say and you want to get it out here, this is one of the great things about social media, whether it's Facebook, which I don't keep up on, or Twitter, which I guess is really the big thing, and I'm really not on that either. This is about all that I understand enough to be on. But whether it's Twitter, whether it's TikTok, whether it's Facebook, whatever, get on. I know a lot of people who do a lot of good stuff on Facebook. They do a lot of good things on Facebook. They get the message out there, and that is a battlefield, and we have to be in it. So if you start your own channel, let me know. I'll watch it. If it's right along line with what we think, I'll tell everybody else about it. Watch Betty Boop's channel. She takes it out there. She's good stuff. If you start a Patreon channel, let me know that. I'll pledge $1 a month to you. This is how we support each other, and this is how we support the movement. And very possibly this is, if not the start, after what Trump is doing now, he's the lightning rod, but now he realizes, just like he said, they're not after him, they're after us, and he's just in their way. That's why he's doing it. There is a real momentum building, a real momentum. And now is the time to jump on and try to start doing everything you can to spread the word and to support this. I think this is very possibly the revolution. Hopefully it will be a bloodless revolution, but we know that the other side, through their rioting during the Summer of Love, it doesn't care about that, right? We're the ones who care about the law. They couldn't care less, which makes it more difficult, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't fight. So this could be the revolution now that we have a strong leader who understands the situation, is angry enough, and has filled that special niche of being a martyr. Do you know why Reagan won his re-election in a landslide? People might think that it's his policies, and he had good policies for the most part. He got taken a couple times by Tip O'Neill, but through Tefra, if you're familiar, if you remember that. But you know what garnered him the support of so many people? It's when he got shot. When he got shot and he survived and he showed himself a fighter. And he showed himself, he was a great communicator. He was likable, he was affable, he was funny, he could tell a joke, he could also be serious. He knew his stuff, he was 100% anti-communist, and he was able to take that message to the people. This is Trump. And I tell you, Trump is a much dirtier fighter than Reagan ever was. And I tell you what, I'm going to do something on street fighting over on the other channel. If there is no such thing as a fair fight, if your life depends on it. And we need fighters. Trump's a fighter. We need people around him who are fighters. MTG's a fighter. Beaupert's a fighter. Kristi Noem's a fighter. I'm thinking of all these women, right? We do have some men that are fighters, but they're not the same. They're not the same bulldogs. Props to you women. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say today. Is this the revolution? Is this a reversion? I think it very well might be. I didn't really see when it was going to happen, but I think this is it. Let me know what you think about this. Like I say, drop your comments down there. Let everybody know what you're thinking about it. Share this with everybody you can think of, because that's how we're going to build our support. And very possibly we can take this back now as these latest developments have occurred. I think we can, but we have to be a part of it. We have to be a big part of it. And join us on Patreon. And thank you very much for doing that. I appreciate it. We all appreciate it, and be involved. So today's going to be an interesting day. There's so much going on. I'm going to get that article that Hondo Bob put up, and I'll put that up for everybody to see. And a happy birthday to Donald Trump, to President Trump. I call him 4547, because that's what we want, right? And he's 77 years old. 77 years old. And man, if you watch that speech from yesterday, man, that guy is something. I'll say that. So remember, America needs a reversion. Might be through this revolution. Hopefully a nice bloodless revolution. And you need to be a part of it. Okay? It needs you to be a part of it. I need to be a part of it. We all need to be a part of it and do our part. You all have a great day. I'll be back to talk to you later. Bye-bye.